Hello, I am Jason JROCK Houston, and this is Guitarist TV. We got the Cox brothers with us from the band Uncured, and we got Zach. Zach, you're the lead guitarist, right? And
That's
Rex,
right.
you're a rhythm guitar player and the lead singer, right?
That's correct.
So, which of you is oldest?
All right, so how you doing, Jay? Chaotic Riffs TV. I'm Zach. I am 2 years older than Rex. We're with Uncured, and we're very happy to be here. Yeah, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
And so, was your big brother? Was he much of an influence, or I mean, you guys are only a year apart, so did you both get into music around the same time and start learning how to
Yeah,
play?
we started taking guitar lessons. I think the exact same day. And ironically, at first, neither of us really liked it. We were just trying to learn the instrument, and that first
Yeah.
couple months to even a year is
Oh.
mostly just you fighting with it. But I think that once you can get past that, you form an unbreakable bond.
Was it just a matter of getting yourself disciplined? Because of course a lot of people, adults, kids, whatever, when they first start playing music, a lot of them do have a problem with that discipline of okay, you got to learn how to play other types of music. You got to practice at a certain time. Was that part of it?
I think that since we started so young, learning guitar among with like the other things that we were doing at that time was one of the things that instilled discipline.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously that helped us throughout our career of as guitarists, but then also our career as just musicians and
Yeah.
people running their own business in general.
And I know you guys are brothers, and that has a lot to do with why you look so much alike. But I got to tell you, you almost look like twins. Have you ever anybody ever mistake you guys for the other one?
Oh, all,
Yeah,
all
all
the
the time.
time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what's it like playing in a band with your brother? Because I mean, you got famous brothers like the Van Halens that get along, and they seem to have like a magical bond. And then you got guys like the Robinson brothers from the Black Crowes. You got a real love hate thing going.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like getting to work with your brother is probably one of the coolest things that anybody can get to do. So yeah, we're very lucky.
That's right. And we get along with each other really well.
That's what
And
we say.
Yeah, yeah.
we each have different skills, things we focus on, and we work towards our strengths, and we work together well.
Divide and conquer.
That's
Too.
right.
And how is it with the other guys in the band? I mean, obviously being brothers, you guys got that kind of immediate bond. You've known each other all your lives, and when you come into a band situation, maybe these are people you've known a couple of years. You just meeting them and forming the band. The other guys in the band kind of like, hey, these guys are all sticking together. Any of that going on?
No, we have a common goal,
Yeah,
and I guess I'd say even like a common bond
yeah,
because
yeah,
we all join together to play the same songs on
yeah.
the same click track as tight as possible.
Yeah.
So there's no sense of like ego or any sort of
That's
like
cool. That's cool to hear.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
Mhm.
But yeah, everybody just has the same common goal, so it feels really good to work to something
Well, that's
together.
good. And Rex, how did you become the singer? Were you just the one with the best voice in the band, or did you always kind of want to
No, I
be?
had a terrible voice when we started. We started as a much heavier project with all instrumental,
Yeah,
and then we went to all screaming. And then I think I found my true calling
yeah,
in singing because that's what I felt the most passionate about. So I took it and ran with it. And I would think of myself primarily now as a singer, even though my quote best instrument is probably the guitar, just 'cause I've been doing it so much longer.
Now, let me ask you, Rex. So, like a lot of people, did you start out on the guitar and then kind of out of necessity? Well, we're going to need a singer for the band, and I got the best voice, maybe, or at least that's what everybody tells you. And so, okay, we'll go with that.
Uh, it was more so everybody was okay with us being a heavy band, but I felt like musically we needed to have
Yeah,
singing. So I just went and set out to learn that skill so that we could write the music that we wanted to.
yeah. And did it take you a while to get comfortable in your ability as a front man? 'Cause it's one thing to come up with some guitar riffs, be able to play the guitar, but then a lot of people tell me, okay, the real difficult part as a front man is you got to communicate with the audience. You got to remember words and everything, obviously, and you're playing the guitar at the same time.
So I play guitar and sing for only a handful of songs in the new set.
Okay.
so it's nice to not have to do both because there's there's just so much more brain power required to sing and play guitar as opposed to
Just
just
sing, yeah.
sing.
That's where Zach comes in with his flashy
Exactly.
leads.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's right.
And so, Zach, as a guitar player, I got to ask, who are some of your guitar heroes growing up?
Oh, all the greats like of course, but other more specifically like John Petrucci, Jeff Loomis. We have a bunch of Jeff Loomis signature models here from Schecter.
Oh,
It's
wow.
our go-to always for playability and tone.
Okay.
Hmm.
And like I said, the band we're talking about today is Uncured. So I always love to ask people because I know one of the hardest things when you form a band is to come up with a name. Uncured, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, what's that? But I dig it because it's simple. It's one word. So tell us a little bit on the story behind the band's name.
So I think when we were 14 and 16, we were thinking we need a name that's awesome and
Yeah.
iconic and memorable
And
Yeah.
easy to spell.
and easy to spell. And we must have went through hundreds and hundreds of different names. And as soon as Zach said Uncured, everybody was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good. That hits the nail on the head." Because while at the time we just thought of it and it connected with all of us, I think that it makes
Makes
sense
sense.
for the type of
Yeah.
music that we make, and I feel like we have a pretty unique sound, and that word is a pretty good way to encapsulate it.
And how would you describe the sound? Because to be honest, I the publicist sent me the press release on the band, and until then, I never heard of the band. And I was checking out the single, which is for the song "Let's Break Out." Now, listening to that kind of sounds to me like modern kind of alternative rock. Is that fair description?
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably the quote poppiest song on this upcoming EP. So this song I would consider a pop song in the metal genre,
Yeah, there you go.
whereas a lot of the other songs are more, I would say, aggressive and more like purely rooted in active rock and metal.
And so you are, I guess, working towards an EP. So do you have most of the songs recorded? Is there a projected release date?
Oh yeah, so all the songs are fully recorded and they're already we already sent them off to the distribution. They're all already available for pre-order in iTunes and Apple Music. You could even see the track listings.
Okay.
They're like grayed out, but they're there.
Yeah.
And
So how many tracks are we getting on this?
this 7 only on the physical CD.
I'm sorry, 6 online.
6 online, so I'll explain. We have so it's June 2nd, right, is the release date. And we're going to be releasing a couple more singles and a bunch of music videos before that.
Oh, cool.
But for the release, we have 6 songs that are available online. And for the CD, we have a bonus track, but that's only on the physical CD.
Yeah, that's great marketing, and I'll tell you guys why. I mean, I'm an old school guy. I miss the days when we used to be able to go buy our music at what was called record stores back in the day to buy CDs. And let's be honest, you probably guys being in the music business are aware of this. I mean, it's hard to get people's attention these days, and let's be honest, a lot of people aren't buying CDs like they used to. You're lucky if you have somebody go on your YouTube page and play the song all the way through,
Right. Oh yeah.
And we can see those analytics.
That's just the state of the world. But I love the fact that a lot of bands have kind of opposite approach, which is, well, people aren't buying CDs. Why should we put out physical copies? We'll just live on our catalog of music. Now, being a new band, you guys can't really do that. But I love the fact that you kind of thinking ahead and, okay, you know what? We want people to go out and buy physical CDs. So in order to kind of encourage that, we're going to throw an extra bonus track on there. I just as a fan, I would say, you know what? I'm going to get the physical copy because I want the extra track.
That's
Awesome.
right.
That's exactly the thought process. And I also don't necessarily agree with the argument that people say that rock is dead, because that kind of implies that like a lot of, old things that made the industry so special are dying out as well. But I think that you can see with the people coming to shows, buying the merch, buying CDs, buying vinyls, that there's a large contingent of people out there that really respect the real thing, and they're here to support.
Yeah. And have you guys given any thought to releasing it on vinyl, or will that kind of depend on how the initial CDs and that sell?
So we've done vinyls in the past for an old album, and they're always they're always so popular, especially at concerts to sell.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we actually have plans for vinyls yet, but I'm definitely going to ask the
we're
management about it because
we're gonna push for it.
I sell the merch at the shows, and I want to have those vinyls to sell.
You know, the nice thing, while a lot of people aren't buying CDs like they used to, what I'm finding, even when I go to look up, new releases like online and Amazon and that to look for stuff, I'm finding that a lot of the bands are releasing their stuff on vinyl, and there's a lot more money to be made for a band. Like you could break a little more even with the vinyl release because, if it's like a nice release, if it's got like a bonus track or something, you say, people are more willing to spend $25-$30 on a vinyl because it's a real nice something. It's something you can hold in your hand, and the record company's not getting all the money. Band's able to make a little more something off of that, I think, these days.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, we also want to just do the vinyl because I think that the artwork looks so nice, and to have that big, and you can put the lyrics in there, which I think is really important because we want people to be, this first song was definitely more down the middle lyrically, but the rest of them, I think.
But again, you're kind of whetting their appetite. You're like, okay, let's get this on the radio.
And the vinyl itself could also be like a golden color to match the album artwork. It would be cool. Be a nice.
For being so young, you guys are kind of ahead of it because I mean, that was a thing. Like I said, back in my younger days, you could go buy your music at a store. I mean, okay, yeah, you can go down a local Target, maybe you find the Beach Boys' greatest hits, but you're not going to find your album, and that's the thing, So, and I do love, whether you're talking about vinyl or CD, that's what I used to love, looking at the album cover. I remember seeing like Iron Maiden's Number of a Beast when it came out, being a little younger at the time, not knowing anything about what it was, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is, but it looks so cool. I have to have it,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so once the EP rather is released in June, you guys have plans to go tour, and will you be just touring in your local area? Do you plan to take it across the country?
So we just announced another festival yesterday. So we are playing Welcome to Rockville in Daytona, Florida, and Incarceration in somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah,
Columbus?
Ohio. I'm not sure where.
Somewhere in Ohio. Two huge festivals. And we're going to be announcing a tour, I believe, in the next, handful of weeks. But it's one of those things that's not 100% locked down yet.
Okay.
But we're going to be playing as many shows as we possibly can in as many places as we possibly can for this record.
Yeah. And so where is home for you guys these days? I mean, where's the band based out of?
We are based out of New Jersey. So that's where Rex and I live. Our bass player flies in from Oklahoma, and our drummer drives in from Boston.
Oh, how cool is that? So when you guys were recording the new songs for the EP, you kind of do it the modern way where everybody has a home studio. You have other guys come into town and you all record together. What's the process?
So everything is tracked right here in this room. Can you see that computer right back there?
Sure. Yeah.
And the microphone that I track vocals in is right here. So like everything is done in this exact space.
Wow.
And while you could send tracks back and forth, I think that it's just better to capture performances in one spot at one time and capture that energy forever.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So and you guys mentioned you released an earlier EP. Is that still available? People want to check out the earlier stuff.
So we have we've been around since like 2016. We've released a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And some of which is no longer available online just because it was recorded when we were so young and it just like sounds like a different group.
Not a representation of where we are now and where we're going.
So you don't want like a new fan to come listen to our stuff and they hear something we did 6 years ago.
When I was how old?
Like 16.
16. Well, that wasn't 6 years.
But like
you get the point.
We don't. So we had the management wanted us to like temporarily archive all of our oldest stuff from like 2018 and sooner. Yeah. But now available on Spotify, we do have a covers album, which has it's like some Slayer and Pantera covers on it,
as well as 8 singles that are not part of this EP. They were just released prior.
Yes. So we have a full album out and cover EP out on Spotify.
And just to
Oh,
clarify, when you say
covers.
the pull out,
Let's talk. I love covers. So, obviously the songs you chose to cover obviously are songs that mean something to each of you guys in the band. But was it hard, picking the final set of songs that made that? In other words, like, did you know right away what songs you wanted to cover, or like,
Well, I would say some were easy picks. Like this was before we went to South America on tour, so we played Roots Bloody Roots there, and we decided that was obviously going to be one of our covers.
and I think the America one was a pretty good choice too, because our parents used to play that song all the time when we were kids. So like, I felt like it would be like a nice homage to what we grew up listening to. That.
So Rex, did you do your best Tom Araya? I mean, hitting those high Slayer notes.
Everything is just screamed in that version, so we didn't get those.
We did
those Tom Arayas in there.
We did Slayer's Disciple though, and added a new solo in there, so it's definitely fun if you want to check it out.
And when you guys do covers like that, there's two approaches. A lot of times people say, why mess with the classic? We'll just re-record it, as they did it pretty much as, note for note, or you can kind of take the other approach, which is, yeah, we're going to cover this song, but we're going to kind of put our own spin on it.
That's what we did for all of those songs, actually.
I think that the main reason a band should do a cover is to kind of just encapsulate everything that made that song special, and then add something new to it, so that like there's a reason to listen to it, right? Like if it's a straight verbatim cover, I wouldn't really be very interested. But if they add their own twist, then I'm immediately like, oh, I want to hear what that's about.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. And where can people find you guys online? Do you want to put out your websites and all that?
So, our website is uncuredband.com, and the most helpful thing is following our Spotify and streaming, and you could just search Uncured, it'll show up, as well as Uncured Band on Instagram and Uncured on Facebook. Okay, and now you guys are mentioning that the label and management had wanted you to kind of archive some of the older stuff. Now here's a question with that. So is the approach you guys are kind of starting off like with this release, kind of almost like a new band? When you play out live, you play any of the older material, or what's the thought process with that?
I would just sort of rephrase that. It was more like we've been in the business and touring for over 5 years now, and we held off from signing with anybody intentionally because we didn't feel like we were ready to really get that level of push. And once we decided that we were, like, this is the record, this is the EP that we're going to do it, let's go find a partner that would make the most sense. And then we kind of decided just all together that this direction where we are now is where we're going. So let's just make sure everybody's looking at the same thing and just, for the moment, temporarily archive that previous stuff. So we will be playing some of the songs that were in the last group of singles. But none of the stuff that's been taken down from Spotify. So
okay.
If it's on Spotify, there's a chance we'll play it.
And you are you guys signed yet to a label, or is that something you're currently working on?
We're signed to Pavement Music.
What's that?
Pavement Entertainment.
Oh, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Okay, Pavement. And they're a great label. What I love about Pavement is they're really great at pushing their artists. And if you look at the diversity of artists, they have bands obviously like Uncured. They have Puddle of Mud, Candlebox, which is like a 90s alternative band. They even had a rap act or two on there. So that's what I dig. And the guy behind the label, Tim King, the bass player from the band Soil, you think a guy like that would sign nothing but metal acts, but I guess he's into just signing whatever is good,
Yeah, and they work with Plush too, who's a young up and coming band.
I love female band.
Yeah. So I mean, working with them so far has been absolutely fantastic, and we look forward to our continued relationship.
Oh wow. Well, so I guess you have a lot of things that you guys are currently working on, and how have people been responding to the new single? Let's Break Out. I mean, I think for that, if you look at the title, that is a great kind of song to launch a band. I mean, like, you want to obviously, hey, let's break out in a big way, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was the thought process behind this one. And there's a music video coming for this one, February 10th. I don't know if we've been telling people that yet, but we're about to start promoting it. So your listeners can be the first to know. And basically, I think that music video makes a pretty big statement. So I think that this was the song to promote and the video to use and everything like that. So like we're very excited about how everything is going, and you know, we'd ask everybody listen to the song, watch the video, and you know, tell us what you think.
Yeah, is the video been filmed yet, or is
Oh
it too?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
filmed
And
it in last November even. So we've been holding it for a while. We're excited.
so you guys have really been like living with these songs for the last year, just kind of fine tuning them, and the fact you filmed the video that long ago and it's just coming out now. But talk about that process as far as filming the video. I mean, was that like an all day event?
Yeah. Well, actually, more than that. So I don't know if you've seen the Spotify canvas, but we have 8 choreographed girls dancing to
Okay.
the song, and I'm sort of dancing too in
Okay.
parts.
Yeah.
So it's very unique because I don't know why dance has been like relegated strictly to hip hop and pop and basically no other genre. I think
Yeah.
if I'm watching a band play, I'd love to see 8 beautiful girls dancing also. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that this is like a basic formula. So I'm very excited for everybody to see the video. And actually, a couple of the other songs we shot videos for already.
Wow.
We have been living with this release for quite a long time, but you know, just careful planning and making sure that that everything goes as we want it to.
And were you guys like a lot of other bands held back because of all the lockdowns and the pandemic and all that, or were you
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of working away anyways? As
Well,
far as
we had to cancel a lot of shows. Had some overseas shows. We had a festival in Indonesia
oh wow,
and an Asian tour that like went from like Southeast Asia to Japan and China. So we were super excited for that. But instead we spent that time working on new music. And I like for everyone, it wasn't a fun year, but we got a lot done.
yeah, that's the one thing. And what was it like touring over there in Asia? Was that first time you guys were over there?
Oh no, so that was all canceled
Oh,
because of
cancel. Okay.
We have toured Europe and South America, and the South America tour was probably the best 2 weeks of all of our lives, really. It was awesome.
And was that the first time you guys had been out, outside of the United States? And I was just kind of curious, what's that like as far as must be somewhat of a culture shock,
So
especially.
we had been to Canada a lot,
Okay.
and we had been to Europe prior to South America. But I would say the biggest like oh my God, this is awesome kind of experience was
yeah.
definitely in South America.
Oh wow, yeah, and I hear the European fans they have a real love for their rock bands. Maybe more of an appreciation than us Americans do. Did you find that to be true? Like they just love you guys over there in Europe?
You know, I think that every different market kind of has its own unique things about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I actually wouldn't necessarily say that fans in Europe are more riled up than
yeah,
fans in America or anywhere else. Like we have a lot of different places that we played
yeah,
that we say, oh, this is our favorite. Like, you know, we love going to Texas, we love going to Florida,
yeah.
Toronto, like places in Vancouver.
Yeah.
We do really well in Germany.
Oh wow.
All the South American shows were fantastic. So I would just say every single place has its own charm,
I
and the
like that
fans.
attitude right there. Yeah, you taught
Yeah.
me something right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good attitude to have. And are there any places you guys haven't been that you would like to go to?
Oh yeah, every place we haven't been, we want to go to.
That's
That's a
right.
good answer. Yeah, if anybody's out there, looking at this. Oh wow, you guys are really you're really on the ball. And like you were saying earlier, people have a way of saying, like rock is dead. I don't believe that either. I just think there aren't a bunch of rock stars, if you know what I mean, like there used to be, but you have to just look for the bands that are really doing it, like you guys. Like I said, to be honest, I've only heard one song, but I can tell you this is my honest opinion. The song is so good that I want to hear the rest of the stuff.
Thank
Well,
you.
right on. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
More songs to be released and the whole EP coming out on June 2nd. So we can't wait for everybody to hear all of them.
All right, June 2nd. And the last thing I want to talk about with you guys is, talk a little bit about the power of the internet. I mean, you've been to Canada, you've been to Europe, you've been to South America, and you must get people messaging you from parts of the world where you never even stepped foot in. And you stop and think, wow, I never even been over that part of the world, and people are checking out our songs.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing for sure. Like we get messages all the time, comments on Facebook, Instagram. We've been really working our social media recently, like with this release, trying to be consistent. And it's nice to see like our stats, our posts are reaching all over the world, and people say like greetings from Bhutan and India, and like from continents we've never been to, countries we've never been to.
Yeah.
And it's a very cool feeling to just see fans popping up in new places, because we both have a pretty good memory when it comes to like people and or their usernames on Instagram and stuff like that. So we try to keep track as much as possible, which you can't really do to down to every single person. But
Yeah.
I will say this to any fans out there: if you like all the posts and you comment on the posts, we will eventually learn your name.
Yeah, well, I heard somebody tell me the other day about Ronnie James Dio. I mean, who's not a Dio fan, but he was a type of guy that like after every show, he would go out and hang out with his fans backstage, for hours and hours when the rest of his band would be waiting for him on the tour bus. He'd see some fans like year after year, and these people were amazed that he'd see them like maybe hadn't seen them like for 2 years, and then he'd remember the person's name. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? Oh my God, Ryan James Dio remembered me.
Well, that's pretty crazy. I'm sure he's seen millions and millions of people, so that's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine? So that takes a certain kind of memory. I'll just say that. But I want to thank you guys for taking time to talk to me. I really enjoyed getting to know you. And I just want to say, if you enjoyed this too, you're welcome back anytime. I would love to, once the EP comes out or you release the video, have you back and talk some more about that, because once we've interviewed you guys, you're like considered family. We welcome you back anytime.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That's fantastic, and I had a really good time doing this, and I look forward to coming back.
That's
I'll just say I encourage you guys to do more of these interviews because you're really great at it.
Oh, thank
thanks.
you. Yeah.
This is our second one on our mini interview press tour that we're doing.
Yeah, and I like the fact, Rex. I'm a little older than you, and you even taught me some today. Like you're telling, well, I think every city, every country has its own charm, and I'm like, yeah, he's got a great way of putting things,
Oh, thank you, thank you very much.
Well, take care, you guys, and we'll talk to you down the line. And the interview we just did will probably be posted within the next week or two. Once it goes up, I'll let your publicists know, and you guys are more than welcome to post it, share it. That's what it's all about. So,
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Jeff.
All right. Bye-bye.